Testing, testing, testing. Alright, OBS, I could see it. Let's open up YouTube real quick. Give me a second. Live. Alright, so Twitter stream is working, YouTube stream is working. Perfect. Alright, gonna give everybody a few more minutes to join. We'll start at exactly 7 p.m. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys have had a great trading day as well. In the meantime, before we start, if you guys want to join our Discord, free Discord, you can request a one-on-one session, again for free. We do 2 daily live streams per day. We do the isolation session at 7 p.m. We do the live trading at 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. And on the weekends, we do the weekly market breakdown where we go over and update all the pairs, go through them in the daily, go through them in the 4-hour. Tonight's session, the isolation session, we just go over the pairs that we want to look at during the NYC session, which is the pairs that you see here on our screen with the red flag. But if you guys have any questions about any other pair, if you guys have any questions about anything that we're doing, if you guys need me to repeat something, draw it out, give examples, let me know, and we'll do that for you. If not, once we go over all these pairs and update them, see what we could catch, we'll be done for the night, and then we'll be back live in the morning. Link for the Discord will be in the chats. For the people joining us on X, welcome. Second stream on X officially. For the people on our YouTube page, welcome. Welcome back, I should say. YouTube chat here. And message. Now the X chat doesn't work. Hold on. Gotta go back. Doesn't work because it doesn't say we're live yet. It's crazy. Alright, so in the meantime, we'll give everybody another 4 minutes here. We'll start at exactly 7 p.m. We'll wait it out. Again, gonna be waiting for 7 p.m. so we got another 3 minutes, 2 minutes now, and then we're gonna get started. Gonna wait for more people to join. Posting it in the Discord, posting it on Twitter. We're also gonna be doing we'll start an X live stream here in a few minutes as well, and then we're gonna get started. So again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Any pairs you guys want me to go over specifically, let me know. If not, once we go over the ones with the red flag that you see on our screen, we'll be done for the night, and we'll be back in the morning for the live trading session. Oh man. Alright, we're officially live on X. Do a little testing. Do you guys hear me on X? Yep. Hear myself. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so let me pull up the chats for both streams. Again, for the people who are now joining us on X, if you guys have any questions, any pairs you guys want me to go over in specific, whether or not they're on our list. Again, the pairs we're going to be going over are the ones with the red flag next to them. But if you guys have any questions about any other pair that you guys want me to go over, let me know. If not, we're chilling. We're going to go over these pairs for the night, see if we can see any early entries. If not, we'll be done for the night. We'll be back during the NYC session in tomorrow's streams, 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Let me pop up the chat real quick. Put this here. And pop up the YouTube chat as well. Perfect. So, gonna get started. Again, if you guys have any questions, anything you guys need me to explain, anything that doesn't make sense that you guys want me to explain or draw out so it could be more simple, let me know. If not, again, once we go over these pairs that are with the red flag, we'll be done for the day. Your good evening was good, Muhammad. Well was your stream, my brother. Glide, Mr. Luan. Was good, my brother. Hope you're having a great day, man. Ween, to be honest. Facts. That's you, man. Alright, so we're gonna get started. So AU, again, the isolation session, we're gonna go over where we're at in the pattern. Then we're gonna go over the 30-minute time frame, see if we can see any continuations. So AU, we know we're in a downtrend. We're in A2, looking for that third push to the bottom. We know we are at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, so not the best place to look for a trade. Here in the 4-hour, we can still see price giving us lower lows, lower highs. Alright, let's draw this out so it's easy for everybody to see. We had price go down, give us a lower low, went up, lower high, consolidated, gave us a break of the low, gave us a lower low, went up, gave us a higher high up here. Right, and right now price is in the zone of consolidation moving sideways in the 4-hour time frame. So now here at the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we're right back at the bottom of the zone of consolidation where price was just moving sideways. Right, there's no real trend. Price is just moving sideways. Sorry, Twitter, damn, you a beast, 74 kills, yo. That game's pretty fun, I'm telling you, but nah, those lobbies were pretty easy. Took a L today on GJ. We'll go over that. If you want, you could send me the screenshot on Discord. I'll pull it up on my screen and then I'll explain it on the stream here if you want me to. We could do that. So now that we know that we're oh shit, I should have kept that. Okay. So now that we know that we're right back at the low of consolidation. Again, the easiest thing for us when we're in a zone of consolidation, right? Again, we'll draw this out on screen. We're consolidating. This is where price is moving sideways. Right? For the people who aren't aware of the two phases in the market, you know you're trending when price is making higher highs and higher lows, right? Where you can see here, higher high, higher low, higher high. And then you know you're in a, or vice versa, right? When price is downtrending, lower lows, lower highs, or when price is just moving sideways, which you can start seeing here when price starts doing something like this, right? When it's just moving sideways, there's no trend. So that's where we're at right now on AU in the zone of consolidation. So not only are we in the zone of consolidation, but when you're in a downtrend, when you're looking for sells, you always want to look for your sells either at the top of the zone, right, to go down, or you're going to be looking for price to break below the zone of consolidation, give you a retest, and this is when you want to start looking for sells when you're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. So right now in AU, just based on where we're at in the 4-hour time frame, based on the fact that price is moving sideways, and based on the fact that we're at the low of the zone of consolidation, this is where price could again go right back to the top side. So the only way I'll be looking for price to go short, the only entry side that I'll start looking for sell opportunities would be when price breaks below these zones of consolidation to go down, and this is where I'll start looking for entries. Right, so with that being said, let's delete some of this so it's not too clustered on the screen. Let's go back to the 30 minutes. So in the 30 minute, what are we looking for as a continuation to go short? Last week, we ended on a change of character, higher high, low, higher low, lower high, and we ended the week on a change of character, lower low. Same thing we explained yesterday. How do we know, right, that price is going to continue to go down? So there's two things, right? The main thing is after a change of character, we want to see a break of structure. If price would have given us something like this on Monday, and then given us a break of structure, and then a pullback for Tuesday, which was today, this is where we could have seen price enter to go short. But the fact that price gave us a change of character and continued this push to the top side without giving us a break of structure, we had no clean entries for AU. So this is where we see, okay, anyways, price was moving sideways. Price never gave us a clean entry, never gave us a clean break of structure. If you're trading during the Asia session, you would think that this is where price gave you the break retest to continue. And what did price do? It just consolidated, right? Trapped everybody with this wick, trapped everybody with this wick, went back down, went back up. Hit your stop losses, right? Made you believe that price was going to do something crazy. Outside of that, we also know that tomorrow, it's very important. Tomorrow we have CPI news, we have FOMC. Do you trade using ICT strategies and use pattern support resistance for your thesis? I do not trade ICT. The name for it would just be market maker's pattern. That's the basis of it. That's the drawings that you see where you would see in all the pairs. Where if we zoom out, right, market maker's method, a lot of people call it market maker's method. Market maker's pattern is the same thing, just a different name. But I do use different strategies for different confluences, right, to support everything. So you see the EMAs on my screen. The EMAs carry a lot of weight to the market maker's pattern. That's where you know exactly where you're at. So for example, on AU, we're in A2, which is just a second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push, right? And what exactly it is that we're looking for, I have it drawn out on USDCAD, which is this right here. When price is downtrending, you have the first push, zone of consolidation, second push, second zone of consolidation, third push to the bottom, which is what you see here, right? And then at the bottom, this is where we start looking for the uptrend. You have, the first push going to the top side, which is here. You have this first zone of consolidation. Oh man, my bad, we're good. We have the first zone of consolidation here, which is what you see here. The second push to the top side. The second zone of consolidation, which is here, and then the third push is what we're looking for on USDCAD. So yeah, I use market maker's pattern. That's the main thing that I use, and then I use everything, right? I trade the markets. That's the best way to put it, right? Sometimes I use Fibonacci's whenever I can. I use the EMA bounces, candlestick analysis, right? Engulfing candles. I use patterns, right? Outside of the market maker's patterns, you know, you have the bearish flag post, the flag post patterns. ICT now, when it comes to imbalances, I do use imbalance candles, but I also know that imbalance candles are the same thing as gaps in the market, right? So I do use a wide range of strategies to kind of support everything, all my entry points, if that makes any sense. Right, you use the exhaustion candles, you have the type 1s, type 2, type 3 patterns, which is again just another name for the TFRs, which is trap falls real. You know, the stop point highs, the liquidity grabs, the sweeps of the lows or the highs. There's a whole bunch of things. Got you. I don't trade Forex, so just trying to gain knowledge whenever I see fit. Yeah, no problem. I also trade options, right? I do have a folder. We'll go over that now, since I know it's my first stream on X, so just to put everybody up to speed. But I trade options the same way, right? I have them marked up the same way. Now I don't have it exactly marked, right? I do it with the highlighter because I don't really when it comes to a lot of my charts, obviously the ones that I don't watch on stream, since I don't trade options on stream, I don't have things marked just because I don't really like having too many things on my screen. But you can see with the examples that I've had before, it's pretty much the same thing, right? Support and resistance, the EMAs, the market makers pattern, the uptrends, the downtrends, it's all traded the same way. The engulfing candles. I think on Tesla I could show you an example of a trade that I caught last month, which is the same entry points, right? You had price giving us lower lows and lower highs to the bottoms. At the lows, once we made these lows, we had an engulfing candle in the 30-minute time frame, right? On the engulfing candle, all I'm looking for is once we create this engulfing candle, which we can see in the 30-minute time frame, or we zoom it in, which this engulfing pattern is something that I tweeted about a few days ago. I made a little article so people could learn about this engulfing candle, right? All I'm looking for after the engulfing candle is a retest. We got the retest, that's the entry, using gaps to my advantage, right? Understanding that we had gaps. If we circle it out, we had a gap here, so we know that, for short-term traders, this is our first TP, second TP at this gap here, which you can see prices opened with a gap. You have another gap here, that's a third TP. You have another gap up here, which is the fourth TP. You have a fifth gap up here, right? And so on and so forth. And then once we reach the top of the zone, which is where we made a liquidity grab, right? A sweep of these highs, we had another engulfing candle in the 15-minute time frame, right? And the exact same thing. But I don't trade going counter against the trend. So I do have it marked, but if I'm looking for buys, if the market is in an uptrend, right? So in this case, well, in the case for AU, right? In AU, we were in A2, which is a downtrend. I'm only looking for sell positions. So on Tesla, where at one point we were in an uptrend, and we still are, I'm not looking for these sell points. But it's the same thing. Once you got the engulfing candle, you're looking for the retest. Once you're in the retest, beautiful entries to go back short, right? And in this case right now, Tesla is just consolidating. If we go back to the 30-minute, right? Price right now is just consolidating. We're in this zone of consolidation from the highs to the lows. So right now, what are we looking for? We're either going to be looking for price to respect these lows to continue the push to the top side, or we're going to be looking for price to break below to continue to go short and give us a pullback. So, I trade the same. I trade the markets, right? The markets, I trade them the same way with every pair, right? I trade crypto the same way. I trade futures the same way. I trade Forex the same way. It's all the same thing, right? The market makers the market is made out of the same candlesticks, right? The only difference is the volume. Some pairs have more volume than others. Some markets have more volume than other, more volatility, more people playing the game. So, but it's all traded the same way. Mohammed, you said had an engulfing and I knew it was a weak one on GJ, but FOMO got me this time. It's all good. It happens, man. We'll go over it. We'll definitely go over it once we get to that pair. And I'll go over the screenshot you sent me, and we'll explain that as well. So AU, let's update it, right? We know we're at the low of the zone of consolidation. We rejected these lows, so right now I'm not interested to look for trades on this. We know we have a day of no net where price is just moving sideways, right? Price didn't give us a rise where it went up for the day. It didn't go down. It just moved sideways. It ended exactly where we started. So this is a no net for the day, and we know we have a red 4-hour candle. Going to the next one, EA, daily time frames to know exactly where we're at in the overall market makers pattern. We're in V2, right? We're in an uptrend, so I'm only looking for buys. We know we're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, but we know that we're really trading between this daily and 4-hour high, and everything is color coordinated. All the boxes are color coordinated. So the blue boxes are the 4-hour time frame, the gray box is a daily time frame, and the red box is a 30-minute time frame. So we know that overall in the zone of consolidation, which is between the yellow lines, we know that we're at the low of the zone of consolidation. But we also know that we're trading still between the daily and the 4-hour low down here and the daily and 4-hour high up here. We also know in a lower time frame that we're in a zone of consolidation. In the 4-hour time frame, even though we're in an uptrend, we could still see two things. Not only are we still making lower lows and lower highs and lower lows, but we're in a zone of consolidation. So what's the first thing I want to see? Here at the lower consolidation in the 4-hour, if we respect these lows, this is where I want to start looking for price to continue to push to the top side. But I also want to start seeing higher highs and higher lows. So again, we still know that we're trading between this lower low, lower high, right? So we know that we're trading between this low and this high. So first thing is first, I either want to see price give me a break of these lows, right, to then give us this high and this low to then price doing something like this to continue this uptrend push, or this is where we'll see price break the lows and continue going short. And what are we going to be looking for? We're going to be looking for an engulfing candle. We'll be looking for a continuation. A continuation is either 2 weeks of rise or 2 days of rise for 372. Right now, internally, we could still see price making lower lows and lower highs. Let's go back and delete some of these drawings real quick. I don't want to have too much on my screen. Here in the 30-minute, we still have this 30-minute gap up here, so we know for a fact that price is going to have to come up. Now, it doesn't have to close it doesn't have to come up in the next day, it doesn't have to do it the same day, it doesn't have to do it this week, right? It could happen 2 weeks from now, a month from now, 3 months from now, but we know price is going to have to come up eventually. We have a day of drop, which was yesterday. Today, price gave us 2 days of drop. Perfect, no problem. It's going counter against the trend, so we're not going to count this as a 372. We know that price was still making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and we're still trading between this 30-minute low and this 30-minute high. At this point, what do we still see in the internal time frame going lower? We could still see lower lows and lower highs. So until we don't start breaking and making higher highs and higher lows, we cannot be trading this pair. And to keep it simple, where do we want to see price break? We want to see price break these highs, based on where we're at in the pattern as well, right? This is where I start using the EMAs as confluence. In level 3 or in level 1, you want to see price break and bounce off the 50 EMA. So in this case, not only will we have a break of the high, but if price gives us a retest after the break on the 50 EMA, that's going to be our entry to continue this uptrend push. So EA, we're going to keep a close eye on this as well. ECAD, going into the daily time frame, but pretty similar to EA. ECAD, we're in V1, we're in the first zone of consolidation in an uptrend. We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. So same thing we explained yesterday and what we explained every stream, right? When we're at the top of the zone of consolidation in an uptrend, do we want to look for those buys at the top of the zone or at the bottom of the zone? The only time we want to start looking for buys at the top of the zone is if we break, give a retest at the top of the zone to continue that push to the top side. In this case too, we have 2 months of rise. But again, these 2 months of rise, not only did we already give that third month, once price opened this month, it already gave us that new high. But we also know, again, we're at the top of the zone consolidation. How many times did price reject these highs? Right? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. This time it could happen again. So what am I looking for? Continuation. Yeah, the 2 months are cool. But if we could get 2 weeks of rise, if we could get 2 days of rise, get a 372, that'll be a lot better than just the months, right? So even in the weekly time frame, we know at this point, we could see that price is still giving us bigger, higher highs and higher lows, but realistically speaking, we know that we're pretty much in the zone of consolidation as well. And we're right back at the low of the zone of consolidation. Not only that, right? This engulfing candle that we have in the 4-hour time frame is not a strong 4-hour engulfing, and the reason why is, again, if you're in an uptrend, and we'll draw this out, we'll make it simple so everybody could understand it. You're in an uptrend, price is making higher highs and higher lows. There's 2 phases in the market, again, when price is trending, higher highs and higher lows, and when price is consolidating. So we'll use the example for both. If you're in an uptrend and you're trending, and you're in a higher high, in the higher high, if the price gives you a double bottom in a higher high, if it does something like this, are you going to take this buy in the double bottom to go long? The answer should be no. Because in a higher high, what does price want to do? It wants to go back down and give you a pullback. Same thing here in the zone of consolidation. In a zone of consolidation, if you see a double bottom at the top of the zone of consolidation, do you want to take these buys here? No, because this is, again, a fake out. This is where price is going to come back down and is going to turn the W that you think is a W to a double top, that M pattern, and go short to continue that downtrend push back to the lower consolidation. So it's the same thing when you're looking at any type of patterns, right? If you're in an uptrend and you're at the top of the zone in that uptrend, if you're in a higher high, you don't want to be looking for a bullish engulfing candle. You don't want to be looking for a double bottom. You don't want to look for a bullish flag post pattern. right? You don't want to look for the ICT imbalance with the order block connected to a gap, all that bullshit. Again, it works. Those patterns work. All the patterns you see in the market works. Wedges, trend lines, fucking harmonic patterns, all of those things work. The only difference and the key difference in all of those patterns and even the candlestick analysis is just market structure. If you're in a higher high and price hasn't given you a pullback, you cannot be looking for bullish patterns when you're still in a higher high. Now, if price is in a higher low, if price is at the low of consolidation, and you get these confluences and all these triggers that are telling you price is gonna reach these zones to then continue, then yeah, you could enter in those pairs. But right now, that's what's going on with EUROCAD. The fact that we're at the top of the zone of consolidation without a break of structure, this engulfing candle in the 4-hour does not hold a lot of weight to me. I still have it marked again as a little zone, a little point of interest, where if price gets down here and then we start seeing higher highs and higher lows, then we know we could start taking these trades to go back up to the top side. But until then, I'm not going to enter this trade like I would aggressively on a pair that's trending, where as soon as price gets into the zone, this is where we'll take the buys. So even though price already came down into the zone and tapped into it, I will not be trading this. I'm still not in this trade. Again, why? Because price is at the top of the zone. So let's go back to the 30-minute. And let me delete some of these drawings again. I don't want to have this all stacked up. Again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Anything that doesn't make any sense, if you guys need me to explain it again, let me know. So we had 2 days of rise, today being 2 days of drop, I'm sorry. This day being the third day gave us a third day low, but we know the week started with a drop or with a gap, resets the trend. So realistically speaking, we have 2 days of drop. Again, price tapped into our engulfing candle, but I'm not going to get into this trade aggressively. Also, what do we know about entry points and entry zones? If price taps into it and starts drifting away from it and doesn't come back down, that's how you know you're in the right spot. But if you take a trade in one of these zones and price comes back down to it, you know you're in a weak zone of an entry. So already seeing that price is coming back down to the entry point, I already know this isn't a strong low to take a trade in. EURUSD daily time frame, we're in V1, I'm sorry, we're in V1, we're in the first zone of consolidation, we're in the middle of the zone of consolidation. Again, the middle of a consolidating zone is where the market makers are trapping traders. So in the middle of the zone of consolidation, if you see higher highs and higher lows, and then all of a sudden price starts giving you lower lows and lower highs and just spikes back down, again, it's just the market makers trapping traders. We also still see price making internal lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows and lower highs, which we'll see now in the 4-hour time frame. Right, you had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Yeah, price gave you higher highs and higher lows after price gave you the break of the lower low, because after a lower low is set, what do you want to see? You want to see a lower high. Did price give us that lower high? Yes. In this lower high, what did price give us as well? It gave us a zone of consolidation. They made this easier for us. It's like, okay, cool, you're in a lower high. How do you know price is gonna go from a lower high to start making higher highs and higher lows? If price gives you a zone of consolidation and breaks above this zone, the way we had it drawn here, then okay, cool, we'll start seeing price go up. But if price rejects the highs and it doesn't give us a clean break of structure, the way it did here is swept the highs, gave you the lower high, and went right back to the lows, which is cool. That's exactly what we saw the price was gonna do. So now we know that the trigger, right, where price is going to continue to go down to is most likely going to be the 4-hour lows, somewhere in this area. So EURUSD, since we're in an uptrend, I'm not going to be looking for price. I'm not going to be looking for entries going short, because again, we're in an overall uptrend. We had a day of no net yesterday. Today, price gave us a day of drop. We know that we had this break, lower low, lower high, lower low. We're trading between this 30-minute low and the 30-minute high. 4-hour candle opened up bullish, and we had a day of drop. So no continuations. Price is still making lower lows, lower highs. Yes, we have these gaps at the top of the market. Let's see if price wants to fill that up today with the FOMC CPI news. GA, something we drew out yesterday. And look how picture perfect this was. It's exactly what we wanted to see. That's in the 30-minute. Let's go to the daily. We know we're in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation. Again, very similar to EU. We're in the middle of the zone of consolidation, so not the best place to look for a trade. We still know if we go down to a lower time frame, what is price doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low. What were we saying yesterday? If price could come up and give us a higher high and a clean break of the previous lower high and then change it to a higher high, that's going to be our confirmation that price is going to get ready to start moving. Not only that, we're in a zone of consolidation. Very different to EU. You saw EU didn't break these highs. On GA, we did break the high. So not only did we break above the zone of consolidation, but we also broke above the previous lower low and lower high that we had. So last week we had a weaker rise. This week we'll be expecting that second week. If we could get this week to finish on a rise, then next week we also know we'll be able to catch those beautiful trades, continuing the push to the top side. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. But I had to turn the fan on in my room, bro. It's fucking 85 degrees in this bitch. It's humid as hell outside too. It's been raining all day. For the people who want to move to Miami, don't do it. Fucking don't do it, man. Go to Alaska. It's too hot down here. Not even that it's hot, it's humid. And then if you just don't have your AC on even for like an hour, if it's not at fucking 65 degrees, bro, your house is gonna get so hot. And then again, it's the humidity that ruins it. So GA, right? Again, we already know we broke above the previous lower high. We made a higher high. We broke above the zone consolidation. We got a retest. So we'll be looking for continuation. And then today, price gave us a day of no net, right? Didn't finish on a rise because the candles are touching each other, right? The opening candle for today's market at 5 p.m. opened in the exact same spot where we opened up yesterday. So we have a day of no net. We still know we're trading between this 30-minute high and the 30-minute low. And price right now is just trailing in the middle of that zone. So until we don't get internal higher highs and higher lows, we can't be taking these trades, right? We don't want to get trapped into these trades. So we'll keep going. GCAD. Again, if you guys have questions, let me know. If not, once we go over these pairs, we'll be done for the day, and we'll see you guys in the morning for the live trading session. So GCAD, again, similar to GA. We're at the top of the zone of consolidation. In the first zone of consolidation, we were consolidating. We finally broke above the zone of consolidation. So now we know in the second level, right, that second push to the top side, we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. The same way we did here, the same way we did here. 4-hour time frame. At one point, we were making, zoom out, right, we had high, low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now, we know we're in a higher high and we haven't gotten a pullback. So could we be expecting a pullback to happen sometime soon? It could happen. So GCAD is in a situation where right now, the safest trade for us to take are going to be 372 continuations. They're going to be the second week of rise going into the third week. Or it's going to be what we can see now that price is again just moving sideways. We've been consolidating pretty much all of this. Even though we could still see internal higher highs and higher lows and higher highs, price is just moving sideways. Right? So what do I want to see? I want to see clean break of the highs to then continue and give us that push to the top side. So right now we have just a day of rise. Let's delete some of these things, man. We have a clean day of rise, which was given today, and that's it. Right now we want to see price, and again, if we just follow the trend, right, again, we want to see price bounce off the 200 EMA. We did it here, we did it here, we did it here, right? We said we did it here too. We did it here for the opening candle, but we know we can't enter these trades because of the spreads on the chart on your accounts when the market opens. So if you wanted to get into an aggressive one down here, you could have. But again, these entries at the top of the zone, they're not safe. These are very aggressive trades at the top of the zone. Again, in a higher high, higher low situation when we're trending in an uptrend. Right now, where is price at? Price is up here. We still haven't given, price still hasn't given us a higher low yet. So taking long positions at a higher high without a higher low is very, very aggressive. Personally, I don't take those trades. Alright, I need to make sure all my confluences are lining up together. GJ, alright, so Mohammed, you said you took GJ. So real quick, let's open up Discord so I could see exactly where it is that you took the trade. So you took a trade going short, which isn't bad, right? And it's not bad for a lot of reasons, right? I'm assuming you saw that you had the 2 days of rise. You saw that today price gave you a third day of rise. So you wanted to take advantage of, after 3 days of rise, the next day you know market's either gonna chop, give us a no net, or it's gonna drop, right? So I'm assuming that's where you kind of wanted to get into those aggressive trades. Now, that engulfing candle that you said that you saw, I'm pretty sure it's in the 30-minute time frame too, or in, well, you're in the 1 hour, so let's go to the 1 hour, right? Regardless, both of these engulfing candles in the 30 and in the 1 hour time frame, they're not valid. Main reason why, again, right? You have this engulfing red candle as let's draw it out and let me know if I'm wrong. But you have this engulfing candle where you have a green, green, red, right? So I'll ask the question first and then I'll show you, right? Why isn't this engulfing candle valid? If you're still here, I'll give you a minute. I'll give you till, well, I'll give you 30 seconds. I'll give you to 7:32 to answer the question, or anybody, if anybody knows the answer. Why is this engulfing candle not valid? And then while you answer that question, let me pull up the tweet as well. The second candle. Okay. So body is smaller than the wick, exactly. And I want to make sure people on X could see this too, because I don't think I have it set up that way. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I know YouTube could see this, right? Let me know if I'm wrong. I don't think the X stream could see this because I'm sharing the screen instead of the. Oh no, you can. Perfect. That's dope. I didn't think I had it set up that way. Okay. So let me pull the chats back up. You can see it? Alright, perfect. So exactly, right? The engulfing candle that you have here, green, green, red, where if we zoom in a little bit, sorry, let me zoom in, people could see it. What are you looking for in the engulfing candle? You want to make sure that that second green candle, right? Same thing in a downtrend for, I think, yeah, same thing for a bullish engulfing, right? You want to make sure that the second candle, right? So in this instance, the green, green, red, which is the bearish engulfing to go short, you want to make sure that that second green candle closes above the first green candle wick. And then obviously the third candle, which is the engulfing, which in this case it had a beautiful engulfing pattern, beautiful engulfing candle, right? The only thing that was missing was that second candle. So this isn't even a valid engulfing pattern. So that was the first mistake, right? And it just ties down to FOMO. I understand, right? Because once we tie everything down to what we know, right? Let's mark this first in the 30 minutes so we're clear on exactly what it is that you saw, right? You saw 2 days of rise. Not only did you see 2 days of rise, I'm pretty sure you're like, oh shit, today we already got the third day high. Price started slowing down. We already know after 3 days of rise, market must chop or drop. So today, what are we expecting, right? Trading on Wednesday, right? It also touched the 30-minute zone, but then you know let me go back to your, well, let's explain this and then go back to what you were saying. to the 30-minute zone. Not only did you already see that, okay, price is most likely going to give us 3 days of rise, so we're looking for a chop or drop. But the bad thing about trading early, again, not only was it not a valid engulfing, but let's say it would have been a valid engulfing, right? What would have happened if price, there's one other thing I have to say after this, right? What happens if price would have given you a 3rd-day rise but finished on a no net, or finished on a drop, where price would have finished either down here or price would have finished here instead of finishing on a 3rd-day rise? If price would have given you a rise no net, right, or a rise drop, you're looking for a 4th-day variation where price goes back up, right? Not only that, realistically speaking, because of the gaps in the market for the past 2 days, which was on Friday and Monday, we know that it resets the trend. So technically speaking, we only really have 1 day of rise, again, because we had a day of rise here. Price on Monday to start the week opened with a gap with this crazy red wick. So technically speaking, this 1 day of rise here doesn't count because the price reset here, the trends reset. So now we have 1 day of rise, today being the 2nd day of rise, right? Oh man, I don't know why this trading view does that, right? So technically today is the 2nd day of rise. Not only that, your 30-minute zone is incorrect as well, right? You have your 30-minute zone being the point of interest as to the last green candle before the push down, right? Your 30 minutes, this is just a point of interest. The real 30-minute zone is really the highest, the last green candle before the push down, right? The highest green candle in the zone that made this break. So from here to here, what's the highest point from here to here is up here. So you're really trading between this 30-minute high and this 30-minute low. This high that you have here is just a point of interest, where if price reaches up here, you want to start seeing it, right? This is where you want to start looking for price to go short. But this is where more confluence has to come in, right? Is price in this zone, is price still giving you higher highs, higher lows? Or is price giving you lower lows and lower highs? If price is giving you higher highs and higher lows, then you can't use the point of interest as a zone to enter trades, right? You have to wait for price to give you the lower lows and lower highs. And in this case, you had high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price went down and gave you an equal low, never broke below. With the wicks, it gave you a fake out, gave you an equal low, and then went right back up to the top side. So right now we could be expecting price, and then not only that, right? Let's take it a step further. Let's take it one step further. In this zone of consolidation in the 30-minute time frame that we could see here, price broke above the zone of consolidation. All of these candles here were testing until price did this break here. So this is another point where price gave us a break of the higher consolidation. We're looking for that retest to continue the push to the top side, right? On top of that as well, realistically speaking, where your stop loss was is incorrect, right? Because if you're using, and let's mark the zone up, right? You had your 30-minute zone up here. You got in on the engulfing candle, so let's go back into the 1 hour time frame, right? This is where stop losses also kind of come into play. If this would have been a valid, let's say your trade would have worked out, and just talking about the stop loss, if this would have been a valid engulfing candle, instead of using my stop loss being up here, I'm putting my stop loss at the top of the 30-minute zone, right? That's the number one thing too, because if you notice, price used the 30-minute point of interest, it used it as the liquidity grab, right? To trap all the traders who thought putting their stop loss here after the retest here, making them think that, oh, you know, you're in the wrong position, just trapping you out, hitting you out with wicks, and then going right back down to the bottom. So realistically speaking too, your stop loss was incorrect. You should have been using the point of interest high up here instead of using the engulfing retest as the stop loss. So instead of having a 15 pip stop loss, you would have had to have a 20 to 21 pip stop loss, which is not bad, because let's say this trade would have worked out. Let's say you would have had a 20 pip stop loss. You know, you're going for the low of the zone. You're looking at 40 pips at least. So a little not bad, a 1 to 2 or a 2 to 1, whatever that's called. Right? So that was a few mistakes, right? The biggest mistake was just it starts off with the engulfing candle, right? Because if it would have been a valid engulfing candle, that would have been a valid stop loss. But because it wasn't a valid stop loss, right? It wasn't a valid engulfing candle. It didn't work out with the stop loss. I see. I won't be using that push that caused the break no more for the zone. Yeah, like I said, you could use it. Just I don't use it a lot. You know, and I know you asked me this question a few weeks ago. I don't like using the 30-minute point of interest too much. But when I do have it marked as I use it as the purple box, and one of my pairs have it. I know I used it recently, so you'll see it on one of the pairs if we haven't passed it yet. I don't remember what pair it was, but I think I passed it already. But like I said, right, my 30-minute zones, the real lows and the real highs are red, which is just the 30-minute highs. The point of interest, which is again the last green candle before the push down, I use it as a purple box. So like I said, you could use it, but just don't confuse it with the 30-minute highs or 30-minute lows. You know, you could just use it as a point of interest. So GJ, we're in peak high territory. We know we're still making higher highs and higher lows. I personally do not trade in peak high territories or peak low territories, so GJ is not a pair that I'm going to be trading unless I have a continuation. Again, the continuation has to be a 3 weeks or 2 weeks of rise going into the third week, 2 days of rise going into the third day, or vice versa. 3 weeks of drop, 3 days of drop. In this case, we have a week of drop on the 30-minute. We have 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, I know market much chop or drop, but as we said, we have a gap in the market, reset the trend. So could I be expecting this pair to continue the push to the top side? Absolutely. So GJ will continue to look at it. We'll have it marked up on the chart, but it's not one that I'm going to be actively trading. GU, I believe we're in V1 at the top of the zone consolidation. Yep, we're in V1 for zone consolidation at the top of the zone. So again, not the best place to be at in a pair that's uptrending. We do not want to be at the top of the zone looking for buys. In the 4 hour, we can see that we're still making higher highs, higher lows, and higher highs, but price has slowed down, right? We can see that we're pretty much trading in the zone of consolidation, going back down to the low. We have 2 weeks where price is just moving sideways, right? We have 2 weeks of no net. So again, no continuations. 30-minute time frame, we can see the zone of consolidation a little bit better. Yeah, we can still see higher highs and higher lows and higher highs, so we know we're trading between this 30-minute high and this 30-minute low. Let's update this real quick. After we made that high and this low, what did price start doing? Consolidated in the zone of consolidation. We broke below the low with the news that hit on Friday with this imbalanced candle, and then again now in the 30-minute zone, in the 30-minute time frame, we can see again that price is just moving sideways. We had a sweep of the lows, went to the top, sweep of the highs, and none of these candles are break of structures yet. None of these candles are break of the highs. None of these candles are real break of the lows. Right now, price is just moving sideways. We have another day of no net, same way we had one yesterday. So right now we have no continuations. We have no criteria, right? There's no rules being in play right now that tell us this is where price is gonna have a nice entry zone. Right, there's no real engulfing candles. This red green that we have here, this is a doji candle. It's not a strong red candle. This is not a strong engulfing green candle because of that. So right now we just got to be patient. There's nothing more, nothing less to this. So we'll continue to wait it out. Right, for us to get a clean entry, I would love to see price break above this zone here. If price could break above here, then we'll have that clean traffic back to the top, and price is still making internal lower lows and lower highs. Again, if you guys have any questions, once again, we're almost done. We're only missing about 5 more pairs after US30. So if you guys have any questions, anything you guys want me to explain again, let me know. If not, once we finish these last couple pairs, we'll be done for the night, and we'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading session. So US30 is very similar to GJ and similar to gold in the sense of where we're at in the market makers pattern. We're in peak high territory, so there's really nothing here to say in the daily time frame. 4-hour time frame, we're still trading between this 4-hour high and the 4-hour low. Right now we're in the middle of that zone. Again, this is where the fake outs tend to happen, making people believe we're going to break above the highs and go and continue to push to the top side, breaking the lows, making people think that we're going to continue to go low and really go back up. So again, not the best place to look for a trade, but we can see that that's exactly what I'm following. Right, in the 30-minute time frame, we're stuck in the zone of consolidation. We did a bullish exhaustion candle going short. We went back down to the low. When we went back to the low of consolidation, we went back to the middle. We had a fake breakout of this zone of consolidation, which we can see here. Price then consolidated, gave us a little double top on the 800 EMA to continue those shorts for today. So, and then again, a fake breakout down here. This is not a break of structure. This red candle that went below the zone is not a break of structure. This is a fake breakout. This is a liquidity grab. This is a sweep of the lows. Whatever you guys want to call it, is the same thing, just a different name. Right? And again, that's not a break of structure. This is a fake out. So this is why price broke below the lows, and everybody who thought that this is where price was going to give you a retest to continue going short, this is why price went right back to the top and hit everybody's stop loss. Right? So got to be very, very careful with that. You have to understand what a real break of structure is. You have to understand what a continuation trade is. Right? Because again, and this goes back to what Gabe was saying in the X chat, right? Do I trade ICT? What do I trade? I trade the markets, right? Because a lot of people will start looking at these consolidating zones and think I'm trading SMC, right? Smart money concepts, or they would think about Roger Banks, because Roger Banks SRC, right? He trades breakouts. But it goes to everything. If you go back to his trade that he took March 16th, March 14th, something like that, where not only was he trading news, but before the news hit, price was consolidating and gave a fake breakout of the lows. So he entered the trade thinking price was going to continue to give him a retest to continue going short or something like that, or going long, and news hit. Now again, not only did the news hit and then fucking went straight to his stop loss, which is something completely different, right? You shouldn't be trading news. But the reason he got faked out of that trade, the reason why the break of the consolidation and the retest didn't work, is because he's trading against the overall trend. So being able to understand when a price is really giving you a real uptrend and when price is giving you a fake uptrend, right? When price is trapping traders compared to when price is trending, it's very important to understand that. My bad, Mohammed. You said I was interested in EU2. It had a 30-minute engulfing, was invalid and didn't take it. But with GJ, I had more than 2 reasons to think I should take it. No, I get it. It's definitely, it's, we could go back to GJ. We'll go back to GJ and we'll go back to EU after we finish here, and then I'll kind of break it down a little bit more, right? Because trading, sometimes you will have some confluences, right, that make you believe this is what's really happening, and then it does something completely different. But again, realistically speaking, just going back to like what you were saying, like it had more than 2 reasons for you to think that you should have taken it. Again, realistically speaking, it didn't, because again, the reason for the engulfing candle, right, the fact that the engulfing candle wasn't even a valid engulfing, that should have already been the #1 indicator as to why you shouldn't have taken it, right? The fact that price is still giving you were going short, the fact that price is still giving you higher highs and higher lows, and it didn't give you a change of character, it didn't give a break of structure, that already invalidates everything else that's going with it. Because the #1 thing you want to see is market structure, right? If you're looking for shorts, you want to make sure that the market structure, you want to make sure that price action is giving you lower lows and lower highs before you even take a trade, right? Is there going to be times where price is giving you higher highs and higher lows, and then price, like what price did here with US30, we talked about this, right? But it's the overall market structure which is different, right? We know that we're trading between this lower low, lower high, lower low. So we understood that this 30-minute low and this 30-minute high, price is still giving us lower lows and lower highs. Now internally, yeah, price is giving higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. price tapped into this 30-minute high, but again, this 30-minute high was the real market structure where price is giving us lower lows and lower highs. So this 30-minute entry is a lot better than the GJ 30-minute entry, because the retest of the 30-minute entry was the previous lower high, even though price internally was still seeing higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows. Does that make sense? But again, I also know that it's, if you don't understand, if it doesn't make sense, let me know and I'll explain it a little bit better, or I'll try to explain it a little bit better. But again, it's just about overall market structure, right? It's being able to put all the pieces together, and it's a lot of information. Again, this is something that, you know, I didn't learn this in a week. I didn't learn this in 2 weeks. I've been trading since 2017, right? 2016, 2017 is something that it took me years, right? It took me years. It took me months of all day just being on my charts, understanding why this doesn't work. Why does it work? Why doesn't it work? Right? Why does this strategy work? Why doesn't this one work? And then being able to put everything together. Like, okay, we know the EMAs work, but why? We're looking, just to give an example, right? We're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. Why does it disrespect in some zones, and why does it respect it in some zones? And then being able to dissect that and being like, okay, this works with this works with this doesn't work with this. What can you put together, right? It's gonna take what took me a few years to understand and being able to really put it all together. I already did the hard work, right? This is what E used to say to us when he was teaching the market makers pattern, right? Because that's when he first started teaching. It was just the market makers pattern. Everything else we know now is things that we've, again, we knew market makers pattern, but we knew there was more to it. So then this is just years of other things that we've been able to add on. And what he used to tell us was he already did the hard work, right? The hard work was understanding what and why the market makers pattern worked. Then he just went ahead and taught it, right, into the easiest ability, which is, okay, you know, you're in the first zone of consolidation. Where do you want to see the 800 EMA? Right? You know you're in level 3 when all the EMAs are fanned out together. You know you're leaving level 1 going into level 2 when the 50 crosses the 200. You know you're in level 1, right? Leaving PCAD territory going into level 1 when the 5 and the 13 EMA crosses the 50 EMA. Right? Again, you know you're in level 2 when the 50 and the 200 cross. You know you're in level 3 when the 200 and the 800 cross. So there's a whole bunch of, like, and we don't even talk about that anymore, right? Because we kind of made it a little bit easier for everybody to understand, which is just look at the 800 EMA, right? If you're in an uptrend, and you see here in level 3, you see the fannings of the EMAs. We don't use the 5 and the 13 anymore, but this is where the 5 and the 13 cross the 50 going into level 1, and then price starts consolidating, right? And you know that you're in that first level when the 50 and the 200 cross and they continue to trend above. You know you're entering the second zone of or the second level, leaving the first zone of consolidation when the 50 and the 200 cross. Right, in this case, the 50 crossed below the 200. We don't want to see that. We want to see the 50 cross above the 200 EMA, which is at the low of the consolidation, which is here in the 30-minute time frame. You can see that, okay, if the 50 starts crossing above the 200 after the fake breakout, after the sweep of the lows, we're in PCAD territory. We want to see price bounce off the 50 EMA. We can see that all of that right now is starting to add up to it. So, you know, again, there's a whole bunch of confluence, and there's a whole bunch of things that you want to see, and you want to make sure that everything is just pointing in the right direction. But you have to wait for the confirmations. You have to wait. There's no other way around it. USDCAD is a pretty long stream today. Good information, though. Really good information. So, USDCAD, we explained this, right? We're in V2, we're at the top of the zone consolidation and an uptrend. Not the best place to look for buys at the top of the zone. We want to look for a continuation or the break of the highs. We have a weaker rise last week. We're in the zone of consolidation, still making lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We're still trading between this high and this low. This high currently broke, so we do have a higher high that's set now. After a higher high is set, we want to see a pullback. So again, not the best place to look for a trade. In the 30-minute time frame, exactly what we drew out yesterday before this even happened is exactly what's going on. There's two phases in the market. When price is trending, right? Giving you higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and when price is consolidating, which is what we have here. You're either going to see price give higher high, higher low, higher high, which is where we're at. The circle in this drawing is exactly where we're at here. We were either going to see price go down and give us a higher low, right? Do something like this, higher low, to then make a higher high, or, right, we'll see price consolidate, price just moving sideways. And that's exactly what price is doing, is just moving sideways. So right now we got to be patient with this pair. In the top of the zone of consolidation, in the top of the zone of consolidation in the daily time frame, we know we're at the top of the zone of consolidation in the 30-minute time frame without a pullback. So our best entry here is going to be if price breaks above this zone of consolidation to do something like this, or if price respects these lows and we start doing something like this, and we know we can start taking these trades, continuing this push to the top side. And we had a day of no net yesterday. Today price again, which is moving sideways, so it gave us another day of no net. So right now we have no continuations, we have no days of rise, no weeks of rise. Price is just moving sideways, so we have no entry criteria for USDCAD. USD ZAR in the daily time frame, we're in V2, very similar to USDCAD in the movement. Price is just moving sideways in the overall trend, but we're also, if we zoom it in, we can see that price here is just moving sideways as well. We had 3 weeks of rise. On the third week gave us a rise no net. Could we be expecting a fourth week variation where price goes up? At the top of the zone consolidation, again, not really. Why? Because again, at the top of the zone consolidation, if market makers give you a double bottom, you know it's a fake out. If they give you a bullish engulfing candle, you know it's a fake out. If they give you a bullish flag post pattern, you know it's a fake out. If they give you an exhaustion candle, you know it's a fake out. Right? We already completed the move, which again, if we zoom it out, in the zone of consolidation, what did price do? Price went down, broke below the zone of consolidation. We're consolidating, price went down and broke below the lows. So at this point, we know we're trading between lower high, lower low, lower high. Hope that makes sense. So now that we know that we're at the top of the zone of consolidation in the daily time frame, in the 4-hour time frame, we were in a zone of consolidation and price broke below the zone of consolidation, making us a lower low going into a lower high. What do we know about the 30-minute time frame? 30-minute time frame, same thing. Right? At one point, you can see lower low, lower high, all the way to the bottom, lower low. Then price went up and gave us a change of character, higher high, higher low. And this higher high up here is not a real higher high. It's a fake out. None of these candles are a break of structure. If you put a line, right? None of these candles are a break of structure. All of these candles are still touching the zone. All of these candles were still touching that yellow zone, if you notice it. No candle broke above the wick. Right? Price went right back down. The candle that went up, this engulfing green candle, is just one candle. It's a fake out. It's a testing candle. After that, if you look at the wick of that green candle, no candle closed above that zone. What did price do? It went right back down. Same thing, this green candle went back up. It's a testing candle. No candle after that broke above it. What did price do? It just consolidated. And then it broke below, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we already know these fake breakouts here is just making, the FOMO, as we call it. Right, making everybody believe, oh shit, this is the engulfing candle. We're gonna get in up here and continue to push to the top side. Like, no, man. Look at market structure. If price in the daily time frame is making lower lows and lower highs, and price in the 4-hour is still making lower lows and lower highs, what do you think is gonna happen in the 30-minute time frame? Right now, if the daily time frame is giving you higher highs and higher lows, and the 4-hour time frame is giving you higher highs and higher lows, and the 30-minute starts giving you higher highs and higher lows, what do you think is going to happen? Price is going to continue to push to the top side. So that's what we got to wait for. We have 3 days of drop, but again, the third day of drop, we have gaps on the second day, we have gaps on the first day. Today, price opened with a gap? No. So still reset the trend. Technically, we do have 3 days, but because of the gaps in the market, this is technically 1 day of drop. So could price continue this push to the bottom side? 100%. We still know we're trading between this 30-minute high and the 30-minute low. Now gold, again, same as GJ and GU, we're in peak high territory. We know that we're still seeing higher high, higher low, higher high. Price is just consolidating right between this high and this low. In the 4-hour time frame, we have 3 weeks of drop. This week being the 4th week. Not expecting another week of drop. I'm expecting either a week of rise, which we can see we currently are in the top of the zone. Let me add another line here. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Right? We also know we have a 4-hour engulfing candle. At the bottom of the zone of consolidation in an uptrend, we see an engulfing candle. It's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. And price did not tap into it yet. So now, understanding that tomorrow we have CPI, understanding we have FOMC, am I expecting price to come back down to these lows to give me a retest to continue the uptrend push? It could be something I'm expecting. Now, the fact that we have 2 days of rise, let's break this down a little bit. So, first and foremost, we had a red 4-hour candle. Price gave us a second day of rise. Because we have news going into tomorrow, and especially high impact news, I'm not comfortable saying we're going to get a 372, right? I'm also not comfortable saying that price is going to come back down to these lows to give us a tap of the 4-hour engulfing to continue the push to the top side. Now, there's a few things price could do. If price gives us a rise no net for the day, which I don't believe we'll do because we're so close, but let's say it does. Let's say it gives us a rise no net. Then on Thursday, right, because tomorrow's Wednesday, on Thursday, we could expect price to continue this push back to the top side. If price gives us a rise drop and finishes down here at the end of the day and gives us that 4th day variation, again, this is where we could expect price to go up. So if we don't catch a trade before news, before CPI, before FOMC, and if we don't catch a trade tomorrow, understanding that we have those high impact news, which is that pretty much goes on for all the other pairs tomorrow, then it's all good. We'll be set up for Thursday. We'll be set up for Thursday and for Friday. So that's what we're going to be waiting for on gold. And we're almost done. Again, guys, Bitcoin is traded the same way, gold is traded the same way, oil, ZAR, US30 is all traded the exact same way with the market makers pattern. So we're in peak high territory for Bitcoin. We're in the zone of consolidation in the 4-hour time frame. We're back at the low of the zone of consolidation. I was expecting this green candle. What I would have loved to have seen, I would have loved to have given, or I would have loved to seen price give us this engulfing green candle. We didn't get one, but it's all good, right? When we go back down to the lower time frame in the 30-minute, we did get an engulfing green candle here in the 30-minute time frame. So could I be expecting price to come back down to these lows, give us a retest of the 30-minute engulfing and go back up? I would love to see that, but again, price is still giving us lower lows and lower highs. In the 4-hour time frame, price right now is giving us higher high, higher low, higher high, but we have a breakout, fake out, sweep of the highs here on these highs. Daily time frame, we're still seeing price move sideways. So this 30-minute engulfing could be a very weak 30-minute engulfing, but what I do like is the fact that price tapped into the 30-minute lows and started running away from it. So could this still be a really good zone where price could continue this push to the top side? It's gonna be a little 50-50, right? This position is gonna be a little 50-50, but we'll wait for it. But I love this candle. Again, we'll bring it up this little with our page here. Did I close it out? I did. I did close it out. Give me 1 second. Let me reopen that back up. Right? That red, green. It's exactly what we want to see. The first red candle, top and bottom wick, top and bottom wick. The second red candle closed below the first. Perfect. Both have top and bottom wicks. The green candle closed above the first red candle wick. It closed above the entire candle. That is exactly what it did. The next candle, I'm looking for it to retest the body of the red candle. Did we get the retest of the body of the red candle? No, we missed it by a few pips. So could I be expecting price to come back down? 100%. So this is going to be the position that I'm looking for. When price comes back down, I'll be looking for a position like this. I probably won't use the 30-minute zone since we already used it. So let's say we'll use this stop loss, right? And then TP is going to be somewhere up here. It's as simple as that. That's going to be the position for the day. And then oil, last pair for the day. Daily time frame, we know we're in A1. We're in the middle of the zone of consolidation. So right now we know we're not in the best place to look for a trade, but we do have 2 months of drop. This month being the 3rd month, yes, we got a new low, but that was the opening candle. We know that if we go down to a lower time frame, what do we see? We had a zone of consolidation. We broke below the zone of consolidation. This 4-hour engulfing that we have here, not only is it a 4-hour engulfing, but this is also the point of interest. The last green candle before the break. So right now there's a lot of confluence here, right? But we also know that we have 3 weeks of drop. After 3 weeks of drop, we're looking for price to give us a rise or a no net. So understanding that I'm not expecting price to give me a low, understanding that we have FOMC and CPI tomorrow, I'm not expecting this 4-hour candle to hold up, right? Could it hold up? Absolutely. We'll also know that we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA, which is exactly what we're at. But before I take a trade here on this engulfing candle, again, what do we know about the engulfing candles? We know we're in the right spot when price goes into the engulfing and then starts drifting away. If price goes into the engulfing and goes away and comes back and goes away and comes back and comes back, and right, we know it's a very weak engulfing candle. So right now we have a day of rise, then today gave us a day of no net. We have no continuation. Price right now is just trapping traders, making them believe what they want to believe, right? Price is still giving us also higher high, higher low, and higher highs. So I'm not going to be looking for price. I'm not going to be looking for sells up until when price starts giving us lower lows and lower highs. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. Anything you guys want me to explain again, let me know. Going into tomorrow, right, just tonight itself, I'm not seeing anything too crazy. We could bring up the fact that we have news, right? Let's bring that up real quick so everybody could see it. We have medium impact CPI for CNY at 9:30, so in an hour and a half. 2 a.m. we have GBP high impact news. And then USD going into tomorrow, right? 8:30 a.m. we have CPI. 2 p.m. we have FOMC. 2:30 FOMC. 3:15 we have Canadian high impact news. So, if tomorrow we wake up if nothing happens overnight, then we know that during NYC session at 8:30 we might have some volume. If nothing happens during 8:30 with the volume, then we know we're not going to have anything until 2 p.m. So it is what it is. Tomorrow might be another day where we just gotta stay patient. We just gotta sit on our hands and not get impatient with the trades that we take. But if we do get an opportunity to trade, then we'll be there. I'll definitely be on the stream tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. before that 8:30 a.m. news hits. But yeah, GG's Muhammad. Great session. Oh, but you wanted me to look at EU real quick. Let me know if you're still here. You said EU had a 30-minute engulfing too, but it was invalid. Where was it at? Which 30-minute engulfing were you looking at? Great session. See you tomorrow. I appreciate it, my brother. Let me know if you're still in here for that EU trade. We'll go over that as well. But same thing with EU, right? EU is still making lower lows and lower highs. Never gave us a valid higher high and higher low. Not only that, price during Asia session, London session consolidated. Right, we got the break retest where we just had to continue a type 2 pattern. I thought it broke the zone in the 5-minute. You're saying over here at the top, yeah. And the 5-minute is pretty much on the retest. The other thing that we talk about, we have lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Price really did break here. It gave you a change of character. It never gave you a change of character and a break of structure. So that little zone of consolidation Asia session during London session, this was just a sweep of the highs, right? That was that liquidity grab for price to continue to go down. But again, 30-minute time frame is your friend when it comes with that too. And the 5-minute, that's why we don't really use, when it comes to the breaks of zones of consolidation, you don't want to see it in the 5-minute or the 1-minute, because in the 5-minute, 1-minute, right, and I see what you're saying here in the 30, right? Why is this engulfing candle not valid, right? That green candle doesn't have a bottom wick. So, that's also something you want to make sure you're looking at, right? A beautiful red, red, green. The only thing that was missing was that bottom wick on the green candle. But regardless, right, in the 5-minute time frame, 1-minute time frame, the liquidity grab, the sweep of the highs, it may look like a break of structure. You said not this, but got it. Okay. Right, it's the same thing for this one here, right? Why didn't this engulfing candle hold up? Right? You might have thought that, oh, we got the retest and price went straight into profit, but then it went right back down and disrespected it. But why wasn't this a valid engulfing candle? The bottom of that red candle doesn't have a wick. My bad. Oh, you're good. Yeah, that one. Okay, so yeah, exactly. So pretty much the same reason why this engulfing candle didn't work is the exact same reason why this engulfing candle didn't work here. It's just it doesn't have a bottom wick on the red wick, and then this one doesn't have a bottom wick for, I mean, even if we look at it like this, it has a very small top wick, right? But it doesn't have a bottom wick. So it's not a, on top of the fact that it wasn't a real break of structure of the highs, it just also wasn't an engulfing candle. So that was pretty much it. Again, it's small details, right? It's just the attention to detail. You just got to make sure it's on point, because one little, you know how it is. One little mistake really does cost you that entry. But again, it's nothing to be really ashamed of or sad about or anything like that. It's just more chart work, chart vision, right? That's really all it is. But you got it. You already know what it is, so don't knock yourself for it. It happens. Happens to the best traders. Got it. Thank you. No problem, my brother. But that's pretty much it. Again, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. If not, we'll be done for the night, and then we'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading session during the NYC session, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And then again, we'll be live tomorrow for the isolation session again. Same session we did tonight, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And seeing how news fucked up the markets. So, hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And we'll see you tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening. Peace out.